Hey everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going over heart macarons. I'm going to be showing you 2 ways to pipe heart macarons to make sure they are evenly baked, beautiful, and they match up really well. So I've got my template here and I'm going to tell you guys all about my tips and tricks for heart macarons. Alright guys, so let's get started first with the template. So what I like to do, sometimes I will just get my computer, I'll find a template I like, and I'll just take parchment up to my computer screen and I'll trace it. So I have an example of that. Let's see here. I did these little foxes a couple years ago, and I literally just put this piece of paper up to my computer screen and traced it to make my template. So it's as easy as that. Or if you have a cricket, if you have a cricket or a silhouette, I was putting them together, you can print out little templates. So for my Halloween character macarons, I printed out these little pumpkins and ghosts. Here's a plain pumpkin. I trace them individually and make a big template so it's really fast when I'm piping. Also, just printing them out from your computer and putting them underneath whatever baking surface, whatever mat you're using, put them underneath and then make sure to slide them out after piping before baking. So today I'm just using computer printed out template that I printed from the internet, and we are going to pipe them slowly so we can learn 2 different ways to ensure evenly shaped hearts. There's a reason macarons are circular. They bake beautifully and evenly, and when you have a heart, it can get pointy and things will get crispy. So you want to make sure to have a round template, a nice round heart, so everything bakes nicely and you don't end up with a really pointy tip that's gonna burn. This is a really nice template. It's nice and rounded, and let's get to it. Let's show you guys how to pipe these hearts 2 ways. Let's do it. Valentine's is around the corner. 2 drops of Electric Pink by Americolor. Now adding that pink in at the very end instead of into my meringue is going to ensure a nice bright color. It doesn't get aerated at all in the meringue when you add it at the end like this. When I'm doing any type of shaped macarons, not circular shaped, I tend to do a few strokes less. So this is going pretty slow, but I want the macaron to hold its shape nicely. So I do a couple strokes less than I would if I were just piping regular circles. So I'm gonna call this perfect and put it in my piping bag. And we're ready to pipe our heart macarons. All right, so for these heart macarons, I'm just putting my templates underneath. And I've got a little dent here, so I'm gonna make sure I don't pipe into the dent. So I've got my template. I've got a fairly large piping tip actually, because we're doing a large heart. So it's a 10 millimeter. Actually, it's an 11 millimeter. So 2 different ways of piping your heart macaron is, let me show you right here in the middle, doing an outline. And then filling in the center. Or you can do the entire one side, fill it all in, kind of like you're doing shoe, and then the other one. And then with your scribe, you can kind of fill out your whole heart and make sure your batter is even throughout. When you tap it, it will help, but you want to make sure this is done, preheated. You want to make sure this is done before they dry, or else you get an uneven surface. So you want to go kind of one by one. You pipe your heart, and then you're going to take your scribe. So I can already tell my batter's a little runnier than usual when I do these, because it filled up the top a little bit. So on my next one, I'm just going to be more careful with that. I want that nice divot of the heart that makes the nice shape. Couple at a time, fill them out. Sometimes it takes a few pipes to figure out how your batter's going to behave. That go, and then you can kind of adjust how you pipe after that. So these look much better than that first attempt. So that is the outline way. And then let's do more of the piping one whole side of the heart and then the other side. Running out of space. I want to make it more rounded. When you are fooling with a scribe with your macs, the only thing that you need to worry about is rubbing them down against the mat. The feet aren't going, if you push down right at the edge, your feet aren't going to develop nicely. So you want to make sure you stay on the inside of the mac as you kind of help your batter spread the way you want it to. There we go. Let me move my template a little bit so I can pipe one more in this corner. Alright. And then we'll do another one like this. You guys can kind of decide what you feel like you have more control over. There's lots of differences. Some prefer the outline, some prefer one corner and then the other corner. Either way, it's nice to get your scribe and just accentuate the points without making it too pointy where it's going to burn. After piping, make sure you take your templates out. Our hearts are nice and smooth. Tap them out a little bit, and we are going to let these dry, and then we'll bake them up. Our hearts have a nice skin development on them, and they are ready to go in the oven and get baked. In they go. And these might need to bake longer than our circles, of course, because they are quite large. Already turned that down. I'll start with 11 and 11, and then we'll go from there. That means it is time to flip our tray. So far they look pretty. All right. These look done. We'll just let these bad boys cool, and then we'll play with them. Alright guys, these have completely cooled, and now we can pair them up and see how we did on the inside. I love them. These hearts are so dang cute. I am making these for my Valentine's Day boxes this year. These nice big honkers. And we're gonna do chocolate and strawberry inside. Chocolate ganache, strawberry buttercream. It's so good. It's always harder to get macarons off on the areas where I don't pipe as often. So excuse the mess on my mat. I always have favorites in a batch. It's like, I can't help it, but just love some of them more than the others. Isn't that so cute? I love it. I love the definition. You can't really tell from when I'm piping the two different methods. They all look very similar. So it's really whatever method works better for you, what you feel like you have more control over. And then you'll be able to pair up your little guys and fill them and make people very happy. This was my first one that I did. I was unprepared for the way it would spread. So we definitely, I think, fixed the issue. So don't get worried if your first one, your second one doesn't work out. Just figure out what your batter is doing and make sure you are able to combat the spreading. Give it a really nice indent if it's spreading a lot, and then it will kind of meld in and give you a little less. Sad day, this one doesn't have a partner, so I'm gonna eat and take a bite. So good. Absolutely delicious. You fill it with chocolate and strawberries, what's going in my Valentine's Day box, and it's like heaven. But I like looking in the middle, because the one thing that you need to look out for when you're doing heart-shaped or any type of big macaron shape, you want to make sure the middle is not going to sink down from being underbaked. You want to make sure the whole thing's baked. So even if you press down on the sides, like my usual way of telling if it's done, sometimes the feet will be set, but that middle's not done yet on these big shapes. So feel the middle when it's in the oven. If it's giving a lot, bake it a couple minutes longer. I ended up baking these hearts for 2 more minutes than my usual 22 minutes. So these were in the oven for 24 minutes and they are nicely baked on the inside. All right, everyone, that concludes our heart-shaped macaron tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys found it useful. Please comment down below if you have any further questions. We would be happy to answer them. And most of all, I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Much love to you guys. I hope you get lots of kisses and macaron hearts. Maybe you're making them, maybe I'm making them. You can order now if you want these. Not these ones, these will probably be eaten by me, but love you guys.